welcome into first episode of the Athletes Insight podcast. Today we've got Red Potts with us. So Red, hey, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
For that. So again, this podcast, like I said, mentioned to you before, it's kind of going to be AI generated questions. I'll be asking athletes insights. You can tell the parallel there, AI. Chat GPT and AI is a big thing now. So figured we'll start off there. So, and kind of talk about your journey. And I want this to be kind of just to talk about your journey into football. And so as we start here, just want to talk about, before we get into too much depth here, just want to talk about if you could share a little bit about kind of your journey early on in football. Kind of what age kind of did you start playing football, and kind of what initially drew you to football overall?
Well, I started playing football when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
My father put the ball in my hands, and
Yeah.
that's just really more so been like a family tradition. Like that's just the game that we all play. Me and all my siblings, each, we share a different relationship and
Mm-hmm.
we different bonds with the game of football.
I feel
But
you.
yeah, I started when I was 4 years old playing tackle. Jump right into the fire. Never played flag football or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Straight tackle football.
Okay.
Um, it was kind of one of those things where it was still undecided whether I would play, offense or defense. But my first position I played was quarterback. That was my
Okay.
first initial position.
Okay.
I was playing quarterback. So
Yeah.
that was kind of something that really drew me to the game. Every kid's dream is really, to throw touchdowns, score touchdowns,
Yeah.
So me being able to see that at a young age,
Yeah.
change a game's perspective, with my talent, it drew me more and more to the game and like wanted to learn more and more about it and, just really start to grow a love and passion for it.
I feel you. So you said your bond with your siblings kind of drew you to football versus, say, basketball, or say, did you excel in any other sports like
Yeah,
basketball?
I played all sports growing up.
Okay.
I ran track, I played baseball,
Okay.
also played basketball. But the main thing about football, like with me, I don't know, I just like I'm kind of like aggressive. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid growing up, I was kind of like aggressive. So football was like more my speed. But I
I
was
feel
actually
you.
good at basketball and other sports, but
Okay.
football was the one that I just kind of knew like
You kind of
this is
just,
something
yeah,
I could do. I could do this every day.
I feel you. I feel you on that. And so kind of staying with kind of your early years in football, when you first started playing football, when you were going through kind of, 7, 8, 9, 10, through Pee Wee football, during those days, kind of who were your early role models, you would say, when you started playing football, and kind of how did those role models kind of shape you as your development as a player early on?
So around that age, like my first real role model in the game of football,
Mm-hmm.
I would say is Deion Sanders.
Okay.
Just everything about him, just as from a preparation, from a
Mm-hmm.
process to a confidence to a game changing plays. Just I can go on, just list so many things about Deion Sanders that I honestly fell in love with at a young age, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just something that always drove me. Just seeing another African American male, someone I look up to be
Yeah.
successful in this game that I love. So I would have to say Deion Sanders and Darrell Reeves as well.
Okay.
But that's a little later
Not
on.
not TB12. I figured you a quarterback early on, so I
I think
figured.
quarterback wise, I will have to go with Mike Vick.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Mike
yeah.
growing up, he was just like he just was like a very inspirational.
Explosive and yeah.
Just very inspirational, like just for what he was doing
Mhm.
you know, and it just like it was kind of like contagious. Like it was something that, you know, everybody was chasing. You know, I actually had a pair of his cleats, you know, so it was
Okay.
just his culture, like the different swag he brought to the game. I really like that.
Hmm. No, that's fair. Mike Vick was like he was back in his heyday, back in his prime, man. No, I know. I've watched Mike Vick a lot back in the day.
Yeah,
So he was a very explosive quarterback, um, and an explosive player overall. So again, kind of sticking with your early years a little bit here. Uh, did you ever face any kind of challenges early in football? What kind of challenges did you face when you started playing football early on?
like early on when I first started playing football, it just was like the only challenge I really faced
Hmm.
was really just some you know, being like sometimes being a smaller guy, you know, so
Yeah.
like, you know, that just really motivated me. Like when I got to enough the appropriate age to start lifting weights, I like took it real serious just because of, you know, not wanting to be the smallest guy on the field, you know. But that wasn't
Hmm.
always the case. But you know, it's just, you know, when you get, you know when somebody get the best of you.
Hmm.
Or then
Oh,
when
for
something
sure.
like that happen, and then you know that's just something you don't want to happen again, you know. So I
Yeah,
would have to say, just realizing that you're not the strongest person on the field. You know, it's just opened up a different like grind in my mind to, you know, get bigger and stronger,
for,
especially at a young age, you know. But
for sure.
that was one of the main challenges, especially with the game of football early on. But I
Yeah,
was always talented and skilled enough and athletic enough to, you know, withstand everything. But that was one challenge for me.
for sure, for sure. And I've had my fair share when I've played sports, being feeling like, hey, I'm the shortest, I'm the smallest guy, smallest frame on the field as well. So I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I've played sports as well. So uh, I definitely feel you on that one. And so you play football. You say you started from the age of 4, and then you go on to Pickerington North. Uh, you know, you play high school football, and then you come to Ball State. Right now, you're at Ball State at this point
Yes.
in your career. So, kind of talk me through that decision. How did you end up choosing Ball State to play football, and kind of what factors played a role in that decision? Did you have any other offers that you considered, and kind of what drew you to Ball State to play college football?
What really drew me to Ball State was like they were like the first schools to get on me, you know,
Mhm.
early on in my recruiting process. And
Yeah,
that was that really, you know, hit home for me just because I didn't really like the thought of being somebody's second or last option, you know, because
I feel you.
when it comes to picking a home and picking somewhere you're going to eventually spend 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 years of your life at, you got to make sure you got that connection. Not
Yeah,
only, you know, just with the game of football, but with everything outside of it, you know, because this is your new home. So
yeah,
really, just the coaches and everything, Coach knew, you know, they
mm,
made me feel like home. This has been home, been great to me, been
yeah,
easily one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, you know. But it had a lot to do with, you know, the coaches and the comfort that they provided, you know, even before being enrolled into the school, you know. But as far as like other schools, I really wasn't like that much interested because Ball State had everything that I needed, you know, and they
mm,
had everything that everybody else was trying to offer. So it's just like I'm real big on loyalty, you know. So
yeah.
them wanting to invest in me, I just, you know, I owe them the world, you know, just because that's just something they changed my life forever, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. And again, I going to Ball State, and being there, I agree with you. It is being there for 4 or 5 years, people out there, Muncie, great area, great town, great people.
Yeah,
Definitely for me as well, kind of probably one of the best decisions I made in my life coming out there. So going out there. So uh speaking on that and kind of talking about your football experience so far at Ball State, What's kind of been your most memorable experience, most memorable moment um, on the field as a player for Ball State?
Like actually playing,
Mm-hmm.
my memorable moment will have to be my first interception in Schumann Stadium against Fordham in
Okay.
20. That was like a big moment, for me, and especially in my career, just because all the hard work you put in just to see it, pay off. That was a special moment for me. And then just this past season,
Mm-hmm.
like the largest comebacks in school history against Northern Illinois. That was also like a moment that giving me chills. Like right now, even just talking about it, like those that's what you work for. Like those the games you want to be involved in.
Yeah.
And if I wouldn't have came here, I wouldn't have been involved in the bronze stock game,
Yeah.
rivalry game, and in the middle of the season, trophy games in the middle of the season. It don't
Mm-hmm.
really get better than that.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure. And you talk about, football, and when we talked about like, that family atmosphere, you talked about it's kind of what drew you to Ball State. The coaches, Coach New kind of drew you to Ball State as well. We talked about that a little before. And football, as you know, I mean, it's a team sport. So um, kind of talk about kind of how your experience has been with your teammates, kind of the teamwork and the camaraderie with your team and uh, the defensive players, as well as just the team overall. Kind of how your camaraderie has been over your years at Ball State. How would you describe that?
Something that I always, like it's gonna be with me forever is that I always got how many ever, if there's 110 players,
Mm-hmm.
I got 110 brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's real life of brotherhood, and it's like a lifetime. I
Oh,
got
for
I got
sure.
mates, I got a lot of teammates now that was, my big brothers in this program, coming in. I'm still in contact with them to this day, like
Mm-hmm.
they in contact with my child. You feel me? So it's like it's just a good relationship that is built in the locker room. Through adversity, all the it's a lot of work that goes into this process. So you really learn more about each one of your brothers, and
Mm-hmm.
that really overall makes you closer. So I can just say like it's really just like a tight fist for real. Like it's just everybody just always on one accord. It ain't really too many. Everybody got the same mission, same goals. It ain't too many. Me guys. It's not none of that in this program. Everybody on one mission. So just being like that and moving on one accord, man. It just show you how tight and how special the brotherhood
Mm-hmm.
and how special being a Ball State Cardinal is.
For sure, for sure. And Ball State, and like I've said before to you, it's a special place. Ball State football, being with them for my 4 years when I was there, holds a very special place in my heart. So, and the people, the team, being around the guys, I feel that too. So I definitely agree with you, with the teamwork and the camaraderie within the team. Definitely, and it's like you said, you got 110 or however many brothers on the team that got your back, no matter what. So you're now, you're a redshirt senior now. You're a leader on this team now. It's last season, right? Final season, and final stretch, overall of college. And so we want to talk about the future a little bit. We talked about your past, kind of what got you into football. We talked about currently being in college. I want to kind of talk about the future here, for you. What are your overall goals in the future, football specifically, but also beyond football? Kind of what do you hope to do in the future, overall?
Well, my overall goal of playing this game is to play professionally. That's
Yeah.
always a dream of mine, to
Mm-hmm.
play in a professional football league. So that's something that I'm chasing and
Yeah.
pursuing. But
Yeah.
my eyes and goals right now is truly all set on, winning a MAC championship. And that's not even something that I need to have in my eyesight. But right now, I'm really
Mm-hmm.
focused beating the Kentucky Wildcats right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Game one. Yeah.
That's the main thing on top of my mindset right now. But yeah, pursuing the National Football League,
Hmm.
career is definitely, something that is really in, my near future.
Yep.
And also like we talking about life after football.
Yeah.
That's
Any
like,
kind of passions or things you want to pursue after football?
after football, it's a ton of things that I got that I want to do, but then like I gotta really sit down and
Yeah.
measure and see the reality of certain things. But there's a
Yeah.
ton of things I definitely will tap into.
Hmm.
One with the game, maybe real estate,
Yeah.
you know, um, different avenues that I've learned from different resources at my time here in Ball State and different connections that I've made.
Hmm.
To
For sure. For sure. Um, and so, you talked about winning a MAC championship. That's on your mind. Beating Kentucky. You got some big games coming up. Kentucky, Georgia, this season, and so, but to kind of finish off our episode today, just kind of want to end on, and I always want to ask athletes that I interview this to is kind of what advice would you give to somebody to like a young kid starting playing football, or in high school trying to figure out where he or she wants to play college football. And so kind of what advice do you give to young players trying to pursue a career playing football?
to make sure you got the highest grades possible.
Okay.
Make sure you got the highest grades possible, and just make sure just make sure you're a good guy. Just make sure you check all the boxes from a character standpoint.
Yeah.
Just make sure you know what you get yourself into and understand that it's a business. So
Mhm.
you got to handle your business and carry on every day as if you were a professional.
For sure, for sure. And that's key, not just in football, but in life as well, right? Carry yourself as a professional through and through. You're gonna get a lot of opportunities thrown your way. So that's gonna be it for us here on this episode of Athlete Insights. But Red, I want to thank you for joining me, man, taking the time. You're the first one. So like I said, I had this podcast idea going on for a while. So thank you for
No
coming on, being the
problem.
first one, man.
No
Uh,
problem. Know
yeah,
you, my man. I always got you, man. I knock it
yeah.
out for
Hey, thank you so much, man, and we'll join you next time.